Hi, my name is Malia Arel. I'm a close friend of Percy, and I have been so humbly asked by him to assist in his analysis. As both a big fan of horror and animated related content, I am honored to be here to expand upon one specific film, Emesis Blue, created by Fortress Films. I'm going to be answering some questions revolving around the film's production and impact from the perspective of a very passionate admirer, and I hope that you can learn something. The most impressive part of the entire film is the animation itself. It is slick and highly detailed, with real movement and emotion incorporated into every scene. It looks, plays, and feels so professional. But what is most shocking is that all of this was done through a 10-year-old, completely free and rather rigid animation program, Source Filmmaker. Source Filmmaker, or SFM as I'll continue to call it, is a movie-making tool built and used by the video game company Valve. It was originally created back in 2005 for trailers and projects revolving around the company's video games, one of these being Team Fortress 2, where the characters in Emesis Blue originate from. Eventually, a free open beta build of the entire program was released to Steam years later in 2012 for the public to learn and use and create with. The program has been described to have a learning curve, and actual results being dependent on what an animator is willing to work with, but that certainly did not stop fans from creating, and eventually led to the Goliath that is Emesis Blue. Which leads us to the actual team behind this series of films. And yes, films, as both a shorter SFM movie, Spies Disguise, released 4 years prior in 2018, and a teaser short, Emesis Dazapan, just predating Emesis Blue's release by a year in 2022, are both connected to this created universe. Fortress Films is a production company consisting of a shockingly small amount of members, making this feat all the more amazing considering the consistency in story, improvement in animation and sound engineering, and overall quality that some big budget studios lack. Emesis Blue is so special because it is so impressive to see a fully animated, almost 2-hour long, silver screen worthy film released for free on YouTube. When answering this question, it's important to specify what previous content was associated with this given makerspace. Shitposts?
Where are you right now? I'm at Soup! What do you mean you're at Soup? I mean I'm at Soup! What store are you in? I'm at the Soup store! Why are you buying clothes at the Soup store? Fuck you!
Series.
How many times have you died? I'm actually getting impressed.
And shorts. Horror, much like it is in the grand scheme of animation, is a very foreign genre for SFM films. So much so that I really could not find any major examples of horror content predating Emesis Blue's release. There may be a few shorts or ongoing alternate reality games that incorporate fear, but no other piece of media has done what this film has. Even beyond the genre, Emesis Blue prevails in its abstract use of lighting and set building and pacing to the point where it is collectively agreed upon that it has surpassed the official animations made by Valve. It is the longest, most mind-shattering experimental film that SFM has seen yet. What separates Emesis Blue from other creations is how it destroys previous expectations for homemade animation and sets an entirely new set of standards for the future of SFM and animation in general. It is really hard to describe just what an impact Fortress Films and their creations have had on the community as a whole, and you really gotta see it to believe it. Beyond tributes and fan art created for the property of Emesis Blue itself, the psychological and thrilling horror it brings to the limelight has inspired other creators. Within the past few months since the film's release, there has been an incline in unnerving and horrifying content within the communities of Team Fortress 2 and Source Filmmaker. Artists are becoming inspired. Posters, short films, and even another animation from Fortress Films already in the works. Emesis Blue has done something irreversible, and even after these months since its initial release, the impact is permanent. I am a sucker for horror that truly terrifies an audience. A horror that lingers in the back of your head, to the point where you're closing doors behind you a bit too hastily and feeling a need to keep a light on at night. Horror that sticks with you. Like many, I'm worn down by cheap jump scares and unnecessary fake-outs that the genre has become inseparable from. When I express my love of horror, it means I love to be horrified. Not momentarily startled or forced to feel anxiety. No, I want to feel real, physical dread. And wow, does Emesis Blue deliver. I first watched the entire Fortress Films catalog on February 26, 2023, 6 days after Emesis Blue's initial release. It was a school night, the marathon went well past midnight, and the only light illuminating my dark room was a single candle and the images being shown to me on my computer screen. On top of an already unsettling and mentally damaging environment, I decided to watch a psychological horror during the production of a very personal and very life-draining project. This film was going to destroy me. I knew it would. I wanted it to. And it absolutely did. I remember viciously jotting down notes of symbolism and metaphors through what must have been a 2-hour-long anxiety attack. My heart was racing, my mind faltering, and my hands physically shook. I was in no condition to watch such a film. And yet, this night remains as one of the best movie experiences I have ever lived through. This, allowing myself to suffer through artistic dread during a time of my own personal suffering, this was horror. And while I do not mean to discredit Fortress Films and just how terrifying their work can be alone, I sincerely do not believe that Emesis Blue would have affected me so terribly if it weren't for the exact condition I was in. To this day, even thinking about this film brings a sudden and horrific anxiety bubbling to my chest. I have watched it fully only that one time, and gotten through a second viewing in 2 separate sittings. This movie physically and mentally causes me harm. And I love it. To wrap up my portion of this project, I'd love to shed some light on the talented voice cast behind Emesis Blue. A lot of the actors were given roles of characters who already had previous voices established, but instead of trying to impersonate the previous voice actors, this group was bold with their decisions to bring their own take on these well-beloved characters. To fill such big shoes must have been extremely daunting, and yet, I think every voiceover artist did exactly what their role demanded without making their performances sound like impressions. Here are a few talented voices, both from the original cast of Team Fortress 2 and the cast of Emesis Blue, back to back, so you can see just how different and similar and equally fantastic these interpretations of the same character are.
If you managed to kill them, I assure you they were not like me. And nothing like the man loosed inside this building. So listen up, boy, or pornography starring your mother will be the second worst thing that happens to you today.
The last time we are federal agents. I am Detective Mannix. This is Lieutenant Colombo. We are looking for a very dangerous criminal.
Who is there to save me, Jules? You've never cared about anyone but yourself.
Hey, look, buddy. I'm an engineer. That means I solve problems. Not problems like what is beauty, because that would fall within the purview of your conundrums of philosophy. How am I gonna stop some big mean Mother Hubbard from tearing me a structurally superfluous new behind? And you best hope not pointed at you.
Y'all know what this means, right? Whoa, not exactly, soldier. You teleport as much bread as you like. That goes for all you. If there's something any of y'all wanted to do before you, well, died, now would be a good time.
Longer than you think. Who says I've been hiding? A relapse is a hell of a thing, ain't it? When they figured out how to bring us back, some of us would tell stories about what we saw on the other side. Saw old friends, family. Mostly strangers. I spoke to my grandfather. He's been dead for 30 years. It's eternity in there.
I don't even know where to start with you. I mean, do you even know who you're talking to? Do you have any idea who I am? Basically, kind of a big deal.
Oh man, that's beautiful.
Listening? Okay. Grass grows, birds fly, sun shines, and brother, I hurt people. I'm a force of nature.
When I went to bed last night, I could swear there was someone standing outside my window. You sound like my mother. Help me out here. After being laid off? Are you kidding me? I'm gonna sue the hell out of Blue for what they did to me. Doc, if they ever hit you with something, you hit back twice as hard, you hear me? If I had a gun, I'd shoot you, you sick bastard!
What makes me a good demo man? If I were a bad demo man, I wouldn't be sitting here discussing it with you now, would I? One crossed wire, one wayward pinch of potassium chloride, one errant twitch, and kablooey! Oh, they're going to have to glue you back together in hell!
There's a whole stash of guns locked in a keep upstairs. I can get you in. You're right where you belong, you fat crooked bastard. Hello, Bill. Long night, eh? I thought you were miles away, lad. Where you been hiding?
If fighting is sure to result in victory, then you must fight. Sun Tzu said that, and I'd say he knows a little more about fighting than you do, pal, because he invented it. Then he used his fight money to buy 2 of every animal on Earth. And then he herded them onto a boat, and then he beat the crap out of every single one. And from that day forward, anytime a bunch of animals are together in one place, it's called a zoo.
Who am I? What the hell are you? Who is this? Listen to me, punk. You're not gonna think this is funny when I strangle you to death with your own stethoscope. It's the voice of God, you son of a bitch, and I'm coming for you! I was trying to save somebody. You're gonna make it, Fritz. No!
That's how I lost my medical license. Archimedes! No! It's filthy in there. No, most hearts couldn't withstand this voltage. The sound of progress, my friend. Then no. But as long as you are, could you hold your ribcage open a bit? Let's go practice medicine.
I killed the Conagas. They tried to kill me. Is that enough? I can explain. You want me to do it, don't you? But I won't. You can't make me. You can't make me! I know.
Thought I should also mention that Robin Atkin Downes, the original voice of the medic, has even publicly announced his admiration of the film and the team.
I just wanted to tell you guys really quickly, did you guys know that there's a group of people who created a full-length TF2 horror movie recently? I told Gary about this, but a lot of people...
Emesis Blue?
Yes, Emesis Blue.
Oh my God, it's incredible. You guys have to, if you haven't seen it, it's amazing. And I actually, it amazed me so much that I reached out. They haven't gotten back to me. They're probably like, fuck off, medic. But
where is it available?
That one's gonna stay on too. But
where do you find it?
I was like, hey, I just want to talk to you guys because if they wanted to do something, they're a very talented group of people in Australia, I think.
I sincerely cannot state how grateful I am to have an educational outlet where all my knowledge of Team Fortress 2 and Emesis Blue and voice actors can be properly distributed for something important. I hope any and all who view this video are able to gain an understanding or appreciation of all the hard work that went into this big love letter to Team Fortress 2 and animation and horror. Sincerely, I really hope that you learned something. And a big thank you to my non-blood brother, Percy, for letting me do my thing. Thank you so much for your time.